Hey, yo, everyone. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone's having a good week and will have a good weekend. I am doing great, as of course. I bring you another SHFiguarts toy review. This is the Son Goku from the Dragon Ball GT series, and this is his Super Saiyan 4 mode, or his form. Um, I have this one and Vegeta from the GT line, and honestly, I can't wait for them to come out with Gogeta. I feel like it's long overdue for them to come out with one, and I know they have announced the I believe it couldn't be Baby. I think it was. I know Trunks and Pam came out, or Pan have already came out, but I think they released or announced another GT character, or I think it was Super Android 17. I think that's the one that I'm thinking of. But right now we have Goku, and I was thinking of doing a side by side of reviewing both the Goku and Vegeta, but I think it's best if I just review Goku as just one video, and then the next video I'll do Vegeta. But yes, we'll get straight to the box. Good old fashioned figure arts. I mean, they usually have to where the see-through plastic or the film is on the left side, and then on the right is the character itself, and you see some character art, obviously in the side. And like I said before in the Broly video, this one has the GT, and it signifies which series of Dragon Ball it is from. If it does that for every other anime, I'm not too sure. It'd be something I need to look into a little bit more, but I know for sure it does it for Dragon Ball. See a little Kamehameha effect, which is great because I think I bought this one for 35, I believe, was probably right around the price I bought it for, and or 42, 45, 40, or 35, 42. I can't remember the top of my head. Bought this a long time ago. Not a lot of them come with the Kamehameha effect, which is really cool. See more pictures there. See him in his GT outfit, which I love. The Super Saiyan 4 form for both Gogeta, Vegeta, and Goku. They are just, in my opinion, top tier forms or character designs. Side, and nothing in the bottom. Just says Son Goku. So we'll crack this open, see what we got, and take a closer look. Bye. I have a question actually because I already opened mine up. I wonder if most people here, when you get figure arts, do y'all open it from the right side or the left side? I find myself opening it up on the right side, and I think because it's the paper is a little bit more easy to work with compared to this side, which is that has the plastic. So I'm very curious because I know some people will open it on this side, or if not both sides, which is interesting. I'm scared of doing that because in case I'm holding it, like this, I don't want it falling out by any chance. But yeah, let me know in the comments how y'all open it. Alright, so this one's a little bit tricky. Hopefully none of these fall. I'm just going to take these things off. These are the Kamehameha. I'm going to just say that. Kamehameha rays. I'm going to take these off and review it this way. Alrighty. So, we got the character, of course. Everything here, every space here is being filled out, which I love. And I've said that previously in my Broly post or video. Figures needs to find a way where they can not have any dead space, because I for sure see this being the dead space if they had not implemented a Kamehameha effect. But we see plenty of hands and then plenty of faces. We see him looking to the left or to his left, kind of clenching his teeth pose, which he's kind of, looks like he's about to do a Kamehameha. His smirking face, his iconic smirking face, where he knows he's winning the battle. I can see that being his power up face, or his key power up, and kind of just a poker face, which is decent. I mean, I feel like every figure should have that, or for Dragon Ball should have that. And we see different hands. We see his what do you call it? Oh, his, I want to say his instant transmission fingers. We see two. Now I'm trying to figure out which hands are the ones that have the effect. Is it these down here? Ah, yes. So these two down here have the pegs to hold the Kamehameha. So if you want one without, it'd be these up here. If you want one with, it'd be those down there. So I'm gonna review each of the fingers or each pair of hands because they're pretty much exactly the same. I think that might be better for future content. Just gets things through pretty quick, and they're pretty much the same thing. See his tail and his Kamehameha. So we'll take the figure out and review the hands. Be right back. Alrighty, starting off with the faces. Oops. We have his, like you said before, we take a closer look. His Nord. I don't know what usually the name is for some of these faces. I wish they can give a little bit of closure for me. For me, it would be closure because sometimes I'm like confused on what some of these are. But the paint is really nice. I'm glad that they have it's not the updated eyebrow line or shading that the new ones have, but I'm glad that at least it has some type of shading, I would want to say, because whenever they're just, if it's just skin color, just simple painted nothing, it looks kind of weird. So I'm glad that they had that for these. Taking a closer look at this one. Nice paint. Well, the red really pops. It doesn't blend with the skin color, so it's very good, because red and skin tone colors tend to blend if it's too similar, or like the shading is too similar, the hue. So I'm glad that this isn't the case here. We go to this other one. Pretty nice. Inside the mouth is pretty neat too. The paint is pretty good. No weird looking teeth looking inside it. Pretty nice. Moving on to the hands. I feel like we'll just get through these pretty quick. No shading with these hands, but this little fur on the back of his hand right there is the same color that is on the figure itself. Nothing else to it. We see his other hand is kind of more of a, you can probably pose this to where he's about to build up the Kamehameha. Pretty neat molding. Very lifelike. Goes the other one. I'm assuming this would probably be a good key blast hand where he's about to blast Omega Shenron in the face. It's the one hand he'll use for that. The next, I didn't know. Wait, must be the wrong one. Oh, well, never mind. This is pretty much his stance, his ready stance hands. He's about to start up the fight, and he goes into this little hand. He does a little thing with these hands. And lastly, here goes the last pair of hands. So this is the one with the peg hole, and I was thinking of this one, not the other one. Pretty neat. I'm very intrigued to see how this looks with Goku himself. Now that's the hands and accessories are out of the way. Oh, whoa, actually, the key blast. It's very simple, has holes all around it, and that is for the key rays. And in the camera, it doesn't pick it up, but it's actually really it's pretty translucent, and it's very purple pink-ish. In the video, it looks a little dark, but it's pretty light. So if you were to shine a light through it, it'd look very, very neat. Now that we have the figure, now back to the figure. So I didn't mention his tail, but his tail pegs right in. Gonna get a little bit of a nudge there, and shaboom, there he goes. Gotta turn it. Gotta work with me. Alrighty, there we go. Alright, so we'll talk about paint, and then we'll go through the joints and see where this video goes. So one thing that I noticed straight away was the paint on his head and his neck is a very different type of paint compared to his chest. So on his neck and head, it's very glossy, but when you look at his chest, it's very matte. And I think this would have benefited really well with shading. And I'm looking at his pants, and his pants don't have shading. So I'm thinking they just completely threw out any type of shading on this figure. I'm thinking I'm wondering if they add shading to certain characters that hit a certain price point. I'm assuming that's probably why, but that shouldn't be a reason why that changes the quality of the figure or the character, the figure itself. I think it would have been really beneficial if they added shading just to kind of blend both or all body parts together, and it'll separate I think the arms as well from the chest. The arms, or the mold that they use for the arms and chest, or the abdomen area, or the rest of the body, is a very bright pink. It doesn't really look red. It has a very almost a neon pink hue to it, which it could be the lighting or the ring light that I'm using that makes it really shine, and I could be just looking a little bit too much into it because of that, but it just looks very, very odd. So I wonder if it could be just mine that looks like this, and I probably maybe got a bad one, but still looks great. None the other, or nonetheless, I don't mind. I just wish they added paint, or at least some type of shading on this character. So now that's out of the way, we'll get to the joints. Unfortunately, mine has a loose head, and I can probably just put a little bit of quick oil, I think that's what it's called, or kiki oil, not too sure. But yeah, his head is pretty, it doesn't help that the hair itself is heavy, so whenever he wants to look down, he really can't because of his hair is pretty heavy. So what I figured out is you can just move his hair downwards, and it should solve that issue. But eventually I will probably need to get some filament of some sort to fill that part in. So he said on a ball joint, as you already saw, the neck doesn't really move that much. If it does move, it's probably just because of the head. We see butterfly joints on him. Mine are a little on his right side. There we go. Yeah, sweet, got it. They have butterfly joints. He has joints, or what's it called? A swivel on his. Sorry about that. My camera almost gave out. So he has hinge joints on his shoulders. He has a swivel on his biceps. He has not double jointed elbows. He has some type of movement, but that's some. And he has not a ball joint on the hands, but a hinge jointed wrist. He has this much movement going back and forth without moving his body or his lower body, and he has this much movement back, which I think is much more needed if I had to choose between the two. He does not have as much swivel on my figure, but it could be maybe I need to put him in warm water to figure that out. He moves this much forward with his legs and this much back with his... It's very much possibly because of this little plate that's here and his little bum. That's probably why he can't move that much back. Swivel on his thighs, double jointed knees, which is awesome. And he has swivel on his feet, a hinge on his feet as well, and then hinge on his toes. So really neat. We'll put him standing with the Kamehameha effect, and we'll see how it looks. Forgot to mention, he moves this way too. I don't know why I missed it, but he does move this way. If you ever want to move him this way, you will just have to kind of position his legs or his thighs a certain way so it doesn't get locked up at this point, because this is probably the largest point or the tallest point of the thigh. So whenever you want to put him that way, you most definitely can. So I figured out that you don't need to use both hands with the pegs. You can just use one of the hands on each, on one of the each hands that has the peg to put in the effect. And I think that's a really nice job on Figuarts or Tamashii Nations to decide to do that. I think that gives a lot of more range on both posability and not only that, but customization. Say, for example, you want just the left hand for whatever reason, you can have that option. So all you need to do is just pick whichever hand you want to have the peg, and then on the other hand, you'll just put the pegless one in there. So it's pretty neat. And when adding these rays, you just got to match up the correct size on these here. So each of these little rays are different. So you'll have to figure out which one, which is kind of an interesting choice from them. But I think it's a really fun game to figure out which one goes where. I'm sure that one doesn't go there because it's not the right one. I'll figure it out and then we'll be right back. Alrighty, I know this is not the correct pose for his Kamehameha, but it'll do. It turns out that they're not differently sized in the peg holes, so they can pretty much be interchanged. Although there are two that are the same, but the rest or the other four are not. Or there's 4 that are the same and 2 that are the same as well. So in total there's 6, 2 being the same, 4 being the same. So it's a little tricky trying to pose it with the figure, because there's just different rays going all over the place. I was trying to base it off of how the box art has it. It was a little bit difficult, but I think I was able to get it. He just looks a little weird. I can change that later, but overall putting it together wasn't that hard. It's just a little tricky trying to get him to pose a certain way, and I don't think I am skilled enough to do that just yet. So, he needs to put his tail back here. There we go. Sweet. Alrighty. So, articulation, it's pretty nice. There's a lot of accessories that I really enjoy that this character has, or this Goku has. Not a lot of Gokus have this much variety in their box. I know I recently, I think maybe 3 months ago, I bought a Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and all he really had was 3 in total different faceplates, 3 in total different sets of hands, and I believe that was it. And he was at probably retailed maybe 27, 30 bucks. So I'm very happy that this Goku, which is one of my favorite Gokus, has this much accessories. We will put him in another pose and probably finish up the video. I feel like it's taking a little bit too long, so we'll do that and I'll be right back. Alright, so I think that'd be a good pose to finish off the video. I would put him in a fighting stance, which I probably should, but I think the Kamehameha was a pretty good one to kind of utilize the hands and the posing, and as well as the ki blast or the Kamehameha. So, one thing I didn't mention, I've said it already in the beginning of the video. So this part here in the back of the hair is a separate piece, and it sits on a hinge joint, a hinge jointed ball hinge joint. And these two little hair flaps also sit, but these sit on a ball joint. So I think that's really, really cool. And I don't know if Vegeta has that same hair. So once we review that one, or once that one comes around, I'll definitely add that into the video. So, in conclusion, this is an awesome figure to have. One of my favorite Gokus behind the UI Goku. The UI Goku, I think, in my opinion, is probably the best version of Goku that we've ever gotten. Now, there is a Vegito that's coming out, I think, later this year in New York Comic Con. I think that will probably take the cake. But in terms of just Goku, not Goku, or not Vegito or Gogeta, and just sheer Goku, this is probably the second best behind UI Goku. So the articulation is really good. I do wish the paint was a little bit better. I feel like they fumbled that just a little bit. If they just matched those paints together, it would have been great. But the reason why, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell anyone that. If anyone knows the true reason, let me know. That'd probably be some insider information from me. But I think they could have done a better job at the paint. But articulation, accessories, overall, this is a really nice part, or a really nice figure to have as part of your accessory or collection. If you have this figure, let me know what you think. Have heard some some people say that they've had difficult, or some parts of the body were falling off. Particularly, I think the arms or the legs, they've been falling off. Now, this was 2 years ago when I heard about this. I don't know if maybe they did a kind of I've never heard of them doing a recall. So, yeah, if anyone has that problem, that's unfortunate. I do feel bad, because this is a really good figure, and I hope, I got mine on BBTS, and I know BBTS is pretty good at returning or exchanging things, but because this figure is out of stock, there's really no way for them to get this figure back. So yeah, leave a like, leave a comment what you think about this video. I am talking way too long again. I will see you in the next one. It will be the Vegeta for sure. Bye.